They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet 'cause they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
From Greece to Rochester, here we are. Right, Seth?
Look who's with us.
Amos there? Hold on.
There she is.
Mandy, you're caught.
Mandy, you're outed for inappropriate licking.
Mandy.
Give it a break. Hi, everyone. We don't have our special microphone, so maybe the sound won't be as good, but deal with it.
We brought the ring light when we left our house.
The ring light's making us look so good.
Well,
but yeah, we left it. What time did we leave? 6:45.
6:45 a.m.
And then we split driving the whole way. I drove 3 hours. He drove 3 hours without me driving 3 hours apart. What?
Right.
Hey, everyone. This is Stars in the House. And tonight we have a repeat, but a combination.
An edited version because we had the women of Desperate Housewives back in April of 2020. And then we had a few months later, the men of Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Husbands.
And at that point, unlike Scandal and unlike Grey's Anatomy, we had seen every episode. So we were like chomping at the bit.
Just asking. And the women basically, it's all the women of Desperate Housewives and Vanessa Williams with no Wi-Fi. The entire time going, what? After that, she admitted that she had, because she was sort of maybe passive aggressively blaming us. And after she was like, oh my God, like she admitted like she had the worst Wi-Fi.
Now she's got the best setup.
Now she's going to look better. The whole time it's her, like she kept changing.
Well, she was on her phone, I think.
And she was like in various parts of her house.
Anyway, she was walking around.
Ignore that.
Yeah.
But that's when we first met Dana Delaney for the first time.
Yeah.
Who
oh
became
my
our
God.
pal.
And it was right after that episode where it was just the women that we were all done. A lot of the deals, meaning the cast reunions, of Stars in the House have happened because of when we're done with the show, and we'll chat with them if they stay on. And that's exactly what happened. Dana Delaney stayed on after Desperate Housewives and said that she would get put together a reunion of China Beach, one of my favorite shows. And then was it for this one? And Marcia said Melrose Place, which remains like one of our top 5 viewed shows.
Yeah.
That, of course, everything is still on YouTube. But we thought it would be fun. So we asked Paul Ewan to edit together these 2 episodes today.
BJX is axing.
What is going on next week? So next week is the Olympics. So I guess
we are in incredible
beginning
shape,
on Friday,
and we're doing the discus. I'm not eating that.
No, but we decided that we would do game nights leading up to the big game nights.
Yeah, we're going to do the unphysical Olympics.
Yes, so we're going to be doing game nights Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, we're actually going to have special guests. She's not playing, but she will be talking about her new album
and dropping a video.
Yeah, dropping a video. Lily's White,
one of our favorites.
So we're still putting our game nights together since we're still dealing with jet lag, but we're hoping that will be BTU, Black Theater United related for that game night on Tuesday because Lilius is one of the founding members, right?
Well, maybe we should see if our surprise Mykonos visit for the two.
No, I think we should go ahead and talk. But that is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday leading up to the opening ceremonies.
And for those who are literally just here for Desperate Housewives, we are Stars in the House.
Yes.
We raise money for the Actress Fund. The Actress Fund is for everybody in the arts.
They've given out $22 million since the pandemic began.
Since the pandemic
began in direct financial aid to people who need help with their rent and utilities, food, medical help, navigating health insurance during COVID, to people, professionals in the performing arts across the country, on stage and backstage. And if you need help, you can go to actressfund.org. If you're able to give help, go to starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512. And you can forward your receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com. And if we get some donations for this episode, we'll ask Brenda Strong or Dana Delaney if they'll record a thank you and read out your donation aloud, and we'll air it next week.
Camera picked up on it. Jet lag, yeah, tonight I really feel, well, I did a show this afternoon.
But yeah, so Seth, that's what you have to talk a minute about it, because this was really your first deconstructing show.
Live in front of an audience.
And thankfully, we didn't know this at the time, but when you got booked, well, originally you were booked March of 2020, and then that got canceled.
And then they were like, let's do it in May. Everything will be fine by then.
Yeah,
remember?
That got canceled. But then when we were like, oh yeah, we feel safe, And they said, by the way, that it's all vaccinated and people were wearing masks. Some people were wearing masks.
Yeah, there were people that were vaccinated that were still wearing masks just to be extra safe.
Right. And so, but what we didn't know at the time was that having a matinee show for you here on Saturday and tomorrow were like the best things ever. Because we didn't know when we booked you for the matinee that we were going to be going to Greece the week before. So that worked out because, as you can see, Seth has already started falling asleep. For those of you who are here for Desperate Housewives, we went to Greece and just got back yesterday. And so we're a little bit on the tired side. But if you are in the Rochester area, I think there are tickets still available tomorrow. So you can go to.
There's no more VIP seats.
There are no VIP seats, but is it on SethRudetsky.com? Do you have it on your website?
Yeah, you got my website. Thank you, James.
Yeah, so SethRudetsky.com. And you sold you had like signing books afterward. Everyone wore masks.
Yeah, I signed a lot of books. Yeah, everyone wore masks, and I did take some photos with the masks. It was great. It was a good audience. It was all good. I'm just exhausted.
So Seth, before you fall asleep on us, we want to wrap up with some of our pictures.
We say that for game night.
You want to save that for game night?
Yeah, we show this.
All right. So Mykonos is known for their cats. So the cats,
they're all like they may have been. I don't think
they're not feral. We decided that they weren't feral because, especially after we talked to those women, and they were like, everyone has pets, and they were just like taken care of.
They just wander around. They're just cuties.
So there's all these little narrow passageways that we didn't wear masks when it wasn't crowded because it's all outdoors. But and then this is one of those. But when it was crowded, we did wear masks outdoors. But this is one of those little areas that was off the beaten path and no shops, and it's just a residential area. And
these sweet cats are not afraid of anybody. I could not see the second cat for the longest time. And then when I begin talking about it, James just moves the camera away from me. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice. You'll just see. He loses interest.
I was more. Yes, I did lose interest because it was more of a quote unquote commentary on the fact that it looked like we were on a backlot of a Hollywood studio. It was so beautiful. Here's a short little video to give you a taste as Seth yawns. We feel like we're on a movie set here. The lighting is stunning, no crowds. There's Seth, and not one, but two kitty cats.
Best friend.
No, best friend, Seth, there's two. Look, keep looking, go around. Yes. So pretty. And Seth just said, why am I so scared? What did you say?
Why am I so scared to walk?
I know, he was so hesitant.
Weird, my walk. What is my problem?
Oh my gosh. So we have some more that we want to show, but you want to save them for Tuesday?
For Tuesday.
Well, especially because we did, if you follow us on social media, or if you follow Tony Woodwinter LaChance, speaking of Black Theater United, is one of the founding members of Black Theater United. We actually saw her in Mykonos. Craziest thing on Thursday. But maybe we should save that story for Tuesday, Seth. When we'll be a little bit less jet lagged.
Yeah.
And because she's BTU and it's going to be BTU themed, we should. LaChance is coming back tomorrow, so I don't know. I wish that she were doing the game night with us, but she may be asleep by 8 p.m. on Tuesday.
But look how pretty. James loved the flowers in Mykonos.
Well, the flowers were just, and you kept saying, what did you keep saying?
I kept saying, how are they growing? I feel like there's no water in Mykonos.
Like it doesn't rain.
And everything is salt.
Right. So we kind of figured that those that flower, almost like flowering vines,
right? They're real, man.
That those and olive trees just require that much water. We did not Google it. We're just kind of like old school and figuring that out. Oh, I will say this though, because on the plane, I just was watching like my favorite things, and one of the things that I do, we're pals with Rosie Perez, and her breakout introduction movie was Do the Right Thing, and so I always like watch, like I've done it a couple of times on the plane. If Do the Right Thing is on, she's like dances for the first 5 or 6 minutes of the movie. It's like iconic if you haven't seen it. And so I took the picture in honor of Rosie and her Emmy nomination.
And P.S. We are in Rochester because I have another show tomorrow. And
look
who made herself at home in our new hotel.
Mandy Lou.
The scene back of us, I said on Instagram, we're literally in Lucy and Ricky separate beds.
Separate beds.
I don't know why there's a separate bed. And then I took this photo of myself in the dressing room. My first dressing room in a long time.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's so
the
nice.
Starbucks you got me.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
great.
honey.
You're welcome. All right, so we have some more pictures, and we have this really fun video
On the beach.
Yeah, but we'll save it for Tuesday when we are a little more coherent. In the meantime, enjoy Desperate Housewives.
And if you've never seen the show, it is so good. By the way, Julia, it was not quite an arabesque. It was a back tendu. But I appreciate you noticing my ballet.
Oh, and Dana Delaney is going to be with us on September 12th
right.
at the town hall. She's one of our folks who's joining us that day. So without further ado, I would say, David.
Wait a minute.
What?
Mandy Lou is Amanda's nickname. Her nickname is Mandy Lou.
Wow.
We would see her middle name is Louise. Mandy, call her Mandy Louise. I can't believe that's her nickname, man.
That's funny.
All right, well, we're going to watch Desperate Housewives because we love that show so much. I remember this reunion. I don't barely remember what we spoke about. I remember the wedding dress moment with Marsha Cross and Dana Delaney. I remember talking about that.
It was fun. It was fun picking clips for this show.
And this was back in the day. We only did 30 seconds. Well, actually, I guess we only did 30 clips anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll enjoy this. Bye, everybody. David, hit it.
We're live. Oh no! Here we go, Seth.
I'm trying to play Desperate Housewives. I literally just printed it offline. I love that thing.
Go ahead.
There's more coming, but Danny Elfman, bye-bye. Anyway, hi, everybody. We changed locations. I just read something that said you shouldn't ever have a bookshelf behind you for live stream because it's too distracting. Is it? Or do you think it's amazing? Anyway, I'm Seth. This is James. It's Stars in the House. What is Stars in the House? We know we have all these new viewers tonight because Desperate Housewives sucked you all in. Please welcome Mary Alice herself, the wonderful Brenda Strong.
Exactly 8 years have passed since Desperate Housewives went off the air. It all began with the suicide of Mary Alice, played by me, Brenda Strong. While I was alive, I was friends with Catherine Mayfair, played by the fabulous Dana Delaney, and here she is now.
Hi.
Every morning, while alive or dead, I would see Gabrielle Solis exercising in Lululemons and 6-inch heels. We called her Gabby, but she's also known as Eva Longoria. Way after I died, man-loving Renee Perry moved into town. Why, she was beautiful enough to be Miss America. As a matter of fact, she was Miss America in real life, presenting Vanessa Williams. And finally, while I've been in heaven, I've had the pleasure of spying on Bree's bank account. I'd love to tell you some of the raunchy things I've seen, but they mostly involve scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush dipped in baking powder. Bree Vanderkamp had a few last names, but we all know her as Marsha Cross. Yes, perhaps we were Desperate Housewives back then, but underneath it all, we were good friends, and we still are today.
Yay!
Here's our daughter Julie watching from the side.
We're so excited you're all here.
Yes.
Okay, so James did amazing culling of various videotapes. So why don't you start?
Well, yeah, we can. Yeah, let's start right here with the first one, Seth. Go to those.
So for those of you that haven't seen it, here's how the whole show begins. Spoiler alert: suicide. But this was just
We don't go into that right now.
No,
So
but that's what
it
this
leads
is.
up to it. Go.
My name is Mary Alice Young. When you read this morning's paper, you may come across an article about the unusual day I had last week. Normally, there's never anything newsworthy about my life, but that all changed last Thursday. Of course, everything seemed quite normal at first. I made breakfast for my family. I performed my chores. I completed my projects. I ran my errands. In truth, I spent the day as I spent every other day, quietly polishing the routine of my life until it gleamed with perfection.
First off, okay, because Brenda, you started off you were the first housewife, and then you're basically gone right after that. But yet you live on in every single episode. So what we're wanting to know is, did you guys have table reads, and were you there, Brenda? Like, how did it work? Did you never see these women except for flashbacks?
No, we actually, Mark really wanted to hear everything out loud before we would shoot. So we would have table reads before every episode. So that's pretty much my through line with them. They got to see each other all the time.
Right.
But it was really nice to be able to have that connective tissue because my work was separate from their work on camera, unless I was in that episode.
Yeah.
You're such a great speaking voice. And just recently, with my diligent research, I was reading you actually sing. So what's the deal with that?
I got a musical theater degree in college and studied light opera, but never really put it to professional use except for singing throughout Italy for a composer. But yeah, I'd love to go back and do Broadway. It'd be really fun.
What role did you play in college?
I was a loom in Kismet. I was Guinevere in Camelot, and that kind of thing.
Hit it.
I'm gonna mute myself right now. Talk to Eva. She's gotta leave.
By the way, Eva just texted me that she's going to be able to come back after. So for you viewers who don't know, Eva Longoria has an actual baby in real life. You're going to have to do a baby feeding at one point, right?
I'm not breastfeeding him. He's 2 now, but I do have to go feed him. I'm just gonna run downstairs and shove the food to my husband so he can do it. But that's not till a little bit. But yeah, I love Brenda's like, oh, I just did a little bit of singing through Italy.
Thanks for the Pope.
You're coming back on
Celebration in 2000 in Vatican, so that was fun.
Oh
So
my
what-
God.
And in Easter, it's kind of that celebration again, but it was Christmas time.
Okay, so Marcia Cross, you're really the one. You're really the one that got everyone together.
Yay!
So we wanted to sort of show a little classic Brie Vanderkamp clip. This probably is not you in real life. That's what's so crazy, that you're not an uptight person and you're not controlling.
No, just the opposite. I wish I could be controlling. I can't even follow my own thoughts, let alone control them. Yeah. That was very, whew.
Did you get a kick out of playing someone that is so rigid?
Yeah, I loved it. I actually loved it. It worked. I don't know why. Even though it was the complete opposite of me, but I loved it. I loved her, and yeah, it's nice to see everybody. It makes me miss it. Yeah, really missing that. Yeah.
Did you base Brie on anybody you know?
Yes, I did. A friend of mine, her name is Marianne Contreras, who's my roommate. She's now been a lifelong friend. And I literally I moved in with her. I was going back and forth from New York to LA, trying to get my bearings, get a job. And I would take a sip of my coffee, I'd put it down, and then I would look for it. And it was, washed and cleaned it in the dish rack. And she was up going to, Jane Fonda. And I was, to see this, so I'll modify, but I wasn't that healthy. Anyway, she's like a 5-star chef and just brilliant. And so she was my role model, Marianne Contreras. Yeah.
All right, well, here you are in action.
Now, this clip is from, I guess, Germany or something, right? But the subtitles are not in English, but it was the best clip we could find because so much of your character is defined by food, right?
And control.
And control. And this is early on in the series.
So, how's the osso buco?
That's okay.
It's okay. Andrew, I spent 3 hours cooking this meal. How do you think it makes me feel when you say it's okay in that sullen tone?
Who asked you to spend 3 hours on dinner?
Excuse me?
Tim Harper's mom gets home from work, pops open a can of pork and beans, and boom, they're eating. Everyone's happy.
You'd rather I serve pork and beans?
Apologize now, I am begging.
I'm saying, do you always have to serve cuisine? Can't we ever just have food?
Are you doing drugs?
What?
Change in behavior is one of the warning signs, and you have been as fresh as paint for the last 6 months. It certainly would explain why you're always locked in the bathroom.
Trust me, that is not what he is doing.
Shut up. Mom, I'm not the one with the problem here, all right? You're the one always acting like she's running for mayor of Stepford.
Rex, seeing that you're the head of this household, I would really appreciate you saying something.
Pass the salt.
Oh my God, that was the pilot.
So that was actually the pilot. So you didn't know the show was going to be picked up yet, or
No, that was remember that Eva?
Oh my God, I remember.
Wow.
do you guys remember when you all first met? What was talk about that? I'm so fascinated.
I just remember Eva coming into the reading, and she was, like this beautiful little waif and just the most delightful, loving human on the planet, and pretty much stayed that way the whole time. Got very famous, and
That's
Eva.
That's all I remember too. I remember being terrified. We walked into that table read, and Marsha was on a hit show before, and Felicity was on a hit show, and Terry was on, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Eva. I've never done anything in my life." And Marsha would like immediately wrapped her arm around me, and she goes, your life is about to change. Like she knew from that table read the magic that happened. And I was like, "What do you mean? What does that mean?" Marsha was like my moral compass and my spiritual compass throughout the whole show.
And Vanessa, was it crazy for you coming onto a show that was already a big hit? Were you like, "Hi"? She's frozen.
No, I got the gig because I was just coming off Ugly Betty. We were finishing 4 seasons.
Oh, I can't.
And at the end of the 4th season, I was just about to do Sondheim and Sondheim on Broadway at Studio 54. And of course, as you know, Mark Cherry is a huge Stephen Sondheim fan and actually names every episode after a Sondheim song. So Mark came to see me in the show in May, and I got the call like a week later saying, "Would you think about coming on to our show?" So because I was staying in the ABC family, obviously Desperate Housewives was a huge hit, and it was great to be able to jump into something that is already a well-oiled machine, but also bring what I had to. And I loved playing with these gals. It was so much fun.
Eva, we have this amazing clip for you next, and yeah, go ahead.
I can't hear Vanessa. So if she says something to me or about me, y'all need to tell me.
We will.
Relatively nice.
Vanessa and I bonded. Let me tell you, when I met Vanessa, we bonded because we were both pageant girls. We were pageant girls.
There's 3 of us that were pageant girls.
That's right.
Vanessa, you may not know this, but I was in the Miss America pageant the year before you.
What was your talent, Brenda?
Singing.
Not just a graduate, has someone denied the past for art history major. Wait, so what was your song? "Oh, I Barely Sing"? Go.
It was "What Did I Have That I Don't Have" from On a Clear Day. You Can See Forever, and it was a medley.
Ooh.
What did I have?
What did I have that I don't have? What have I got? A strange your knack of. I can't remember the word. How many years ago? I don't even want to know.
Brenda.
But going back to the pilot, I didn't get cast in the pilot. I got cast after they shot the pilot. So I had to go in and they had to reshoot all the scenes with Mary Alice Young. Oh. And I remember sitting at that table where Terry was telling us about, her character Susan being cheated on by Carl. And Eva looked over in between the takes and she goes, "It's amazing how things change when only one person in the dynamic shifts." It was just like, it was a totally different scene. And so I was so grateful to enter into this amazing, already existing group of gorgeous, talented, phenomenal women. And I was intimidated because they were already bonded. So I know how you felt, Vanessa, when you said that. So anyway.
And with Dana, you also came in late, right? You came in.
Yeah.
So
4th season.
Right, 4th season. What was it like for you to enter?
It was, no, it was great. It's a crazy show. And honestly, as an actor, it took a little while to get used to the show, the tone of the show, because it's so, big and strong and over the top, not over the top, but big. And once you realize, I remember Mark giving me a direction my first day, and he said, do it like this. And I was like, really? And then I just thought, okay, it's Joan Crawford. I'm playing Joan Crawford. And then I just went with that, and I had a ball. I just had a ball.
I feel like Marsha got the brunt of that, of Mark saying.
He did be Arthur for me. I can see it right now. He was brilliant. And I would think, he's brilliant. I can't do that, but I can see the hand going, and I see him walking. I mean, did you guys all see it? He's amazing.
Yeah.
So just look at him like, oh my God, I wish I could do what you're doing, but
yeah. I would think it's a hard show to come on late, only because, not because of us, we were amazing. But because Mark was so specific in he came to blocking every scene. He would line read for us because he wanted a rhythm of the line. You had to say the words the way they were written, and I had such a great appreciation for it because it made my job so much easier. I'm like, just tell me how you want it.
But we're going to show this comedy scene. Whether or not you got a line reading for it, it's so natural. That's what I love about it. We were laughing so hard watching this.
We already watched it a couple of times today.
This is with that obnoxious nun that's trying to steal your damn husband.
I love this.
Something like that. But mostly I do charity work. Are you two?
Yeah, you have to be perfect with Mark.
No.
Can you hear me?
But we should
no?
be. I mean, let's face it, Gabby. Buying more stuff isn't going to make our lives any better.
Exactly. Money can't buy happiness.
Well, sure can. That's just a lie we tell poor people to keep them from rioting.
Gabby.
It's a joke. Lighten up.
It's so good.
What season was that? Because I was trying to show that scene to my husband when I beat that nun up, and I don't remember what season.
I think it was first season.
Was it?
I'm almost positive it was first season because he wants to have a baby. It was early.
Yeah. I usually can tell the seasons by my weight gain.
From 100 to 101.
Exactly. Weight gain and hair color.
I can't. Okay, where's
the next storyline when she had cancer was, of course, a real, not a highlight, but I mean, my mom had cancer, and we know so many people had it, and I thought it was done so well. And
but once your friends know you're sick, you can't pretend anymore because you can see it in their eyes. The fear, the pity.
Is that all you see in our eyes?
No, of course not. You know what? Let's make a pact. No more secrets. From now on, we tell each other every shocking detail of our lives.
I'm in. Me too.
You with us?
Absolutely. No more secrets.
How do you feel watching that?
Oh, I just feel like Felicity Huffman is a flipping genius. She's just an unbelievable actress. And I actually remember doing that scene once it came up. I forget everything until I'm watching, and then
I remember that storyline. It was hard because we were a true dramedy. We were always a joke, and then that gravity, would take you by surprise. And that's what I loved about the show. We got to do both things. But when Felicity had this storyline, she sunk her teeth into it. She had so many questions, and then everything from her look and every scene, she was always. She's the actor, and I remember Marsha. I remember that scene too. I forget all of these scenes until I see it, and then I go, "Oh!" I remember getting goosebumps when I did a scene with Felicity in the hospital during that cancer storyline, and oh my God, I was just watching her that I'd forget my lines because she was so amazing.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Come on, we got to talk about Catherine a little bit here, Seth.
Okay, so next up. Okay, so Dana. we thought you were sort of nice when you joined the show. You're a whack ass.
Totally whack ass.
Did you ever play a character like that before?
Never. And I loved every second of it. She did it all.
When you literally keyed her car, did you only have one car, like only one take, because the car had to be, keyed once?
That was so much fun to do. Who has not wanted to key a car? Come on. But yeah, I got to kill my husband. I became a lesbian with my stripper girlfriend. I had a nervous breakdown. That was fun too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up that Bree and Catherine were kind of best friends after all. It was great.
Although you didn't really like each other at this moment, if I recall correctly.
Let's see.
I'm gonna need you to give me your keys. There you go. Souvenir of our friendship.
You wouldn't know it to look at her, but the lady next door is having a nervous breakdown.
It was my best Joan Crawford.
So fabulous and so crazy.
It's one of the things I love about the show. It's like, Brenda, it's like, even though we don't see you, you're part of it every show. Like right there, it's like, we want to hear from your character and what you have to say and think. I love it.
Well, I think the thing that was so much fun was that we'd have the table reads, and then the ladies would go away and they'd create this amazing relationship drama and comedy. And then I'd get to come back in and just comment on it and kind of do the emotional reaction to what they were doing. And you'd think that it would be pat based on what's written, but I'd actually be acting with them because their performances so impacted mine. So even though they never really got to have a ton of time with me, I felt like I was with them all the time.
Would you see the show and then do the voiceover? Like, did you get to watch the dailies and then comment on it?
Not the dailies. I would see the show once they had locked it, and then I would go back. I do a pre voiceover, and then our script supervisor would actually read the Mavo on set, which was so funny because it was so dry. It's like, unfortunately for Bree, she was just so flat. And there were only 2 times that I actually did the voiceover live on set. And once was for the Beau Bridges 100th episode when he was sitting in his truck having an emotional breakdown because he realized that I knew I was going to commit suicide, and I had given him this vase that meant something to me. And the other was when Catherine Justin's character had cancer and all the ladies were together saying goodbye. And I remember I almost didn't get through that voiceover because I was so moved by what they were doing on camera. And I was just sitting at Video Village kind of doing the Mavo, what we call the Mary Alice voiceover from there. So those are the only 2 live versions. But otherwise, I was down in the basement of the Alfred Hitchcock Theater.
But poor Miss McCluskey really was sick in real life, right?
It was a very meta moment, yes. Yeah.
We loved her on that show, man.
Oh,
great.
Fantastic.
Oh.
So acerbic. And she and Felicity had such great chemistry. They just really played so beautifully off of each other. So, yeah.
Almost everyone began as enemies and became friends on the show. Like, there's so many cranky asses, and then always by the end, right?
You want to?
I was gonna say, Dana, when you began doing the show, did you know that after being obsessed with the hell's his name, Mike, right? Yeah, Mike Delfino. Right. Did you know that suddenly you become a lesbian? Was that always part of your subtext?
I knew it all along. Although I always thought that Catherine and Bree should have gotten together. I really thought that was the way it should have gone. I really do.
Well, we have to talk about the season that suddenly skipped ahead 5 years. When did you guys find out that suddenly that concept was going to happen, that everything was going to go ahead 5 years?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I do remember we had to do a reset for some reason. It was like the show had so much pressure to be as amazing as season 1. And I remember being on the red carpet at the DVD release of season 2, which was, we still won a Golden Globe for. It was still a hit show, but people kind of criticized season 2. And I remember this reporter going, "What do you think about season 2 being not as good as season 1?" And I go, "Oh, well, I actually like season 1." And then I would go to another reporter and they go, "What do you think about season 2 not being as good as season 1?" And I go, "Oh, I actually like season 2." And then by the third reporter, I was in tears. I'm like, "You guys are being so mean." So I remember this 5-year jump was kind of Mark being under that pressure of like, I've got to reset. I've got to shake things up and jumping ahead. And I was had short hair and gained weight and blah, blah, blah. And I remember it was like a necessity.
Yeah. And also the kids had all gotten older, and I think they wanted to have the kids jump 5 years, and that was an opportunity there.
It was quite brilliant, and especially, I don't think anyone's character changed as much as Eva's with the kids. I mean, you want to show that?
Well, also the old wiping off the makeup. Yes. When did you find out that was going to happen?
Me?
Yeah. Didn't you have that whole season where there was kind of nothing happening?
Well, I had gained in life weight, and so I was like, I can't lose all of this by the time we start shooting. And I was like,
I remember. I will never forget. I won't say it online, but she had a word for where the fat goes that you didn't expect it to go. Do you remember that?
Yes.
What letter does it start with?
F. But it's so funny because Kate Adair, who was our fabulous costume designer in English, I came back in for a fitting for that season 5, I forget, and she pulled all these clothes based on my normal size, and nothing would zip up by like this much. I mean, it was not like, ooh. And so she kept going, "Oh, okay, we're just going to try something else. Hold on 1 second." And she get another dress and she goes, "Oh dear. Okay. Well, we're just going to go into," and like, she was so polite about it. And I go, "Kate, I know.
So you went from like a 000 to a 0?
Yeah, exactly. Never getting chubby.
Devastating. Okay, we have a clip. We love the comedy here.
We love this scene.
I want macaroni.
Hey, I'm not a short order cook. I don't have time to make different meals for everyone.
It comes in a box. It's not that hard.
Okay, look. Mommy needs to lose a few pounds. And it's not easy eating healthy with you two in front of me scarfing down all the good stuff. So what do you say? You want to help Mommy be beautiful again?
No.
You got a lot of nerve. Part of the reason I'm on this diet is because carrying you two brats for 18 months made Mommy fat. And you, with the head, you ruined me. So this is how it's going to go down. You're going to eat fish with Mommy, and you're going to like it. Got it? Thank you.
That was so good. I love that. You with the head.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh my God. Well, the comedy kept going up.
It wasn't me. People think I was so funny, and it was not me. Those lines were written by Mark Cherry in the most amazing. He gave me the best lines, like that one about, that's a lie we tell poor people. I mean, all of those. I mean, sometimes I was like, I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth. But the rhythm was already in the line. Anybody could have done this role and read the same thing, and you would have read the line.
No. It was you.
It was funny.
I think it was a combination. It was really good writing. It was really good comedic acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in the 7th season, you had the comedy amped up more when Vanessa Williams joined.
I can't tell if Vanessa's frozen, contemplating, or
Sorry for money.
Okay, good. It's always hard to know on this. So Vanessa Williams, you came in and you became the town biatch. Did you love playing that?
Yeah, season 7 and 8. Yeah, it was. Renee was a piece of work, and when you were talking about Mark, he not only was he brilliant, but you had to be word perfect. You can work on some shows and you can kind of fudge around and get the idea of a line. Mark was word perfect, and you made sure that, and Linda, who was a script supervisor, made sure that if you messed up, you do it completely right. So Mark was absolutely word perfect, but it was fun.
James found so many hilarious lines you had. because you were filming Marsha, which is so hilarious.
So these are 3 short little scenes.
Someone just reposted the scene where Eva and I were talking about how beautiful we both were and what burden it was, and don't we understand what a pain it is to be beautiful, but
So
we both
hard.
understand each other. It was hilarious.
So hard.
You remember that?
2 nightmares. All right, here you are with poor Brie Vanderkamp.
I have never seen so many sweater sets. Are you sure this is a closet and not a portal to the 1950s?
I was going to do a little clothes shopping later, and I was hoping you might join me.
Oh, thank God. Are we burning your clothes before or after we go? So what do you say? You up for a little stud hunting?
That's a lovely offer, but I think I'm going to pass.
Oh, come on. We got to get back in the game. Cut loose. Let our hair down. That hair does come down, doesn't it?
Oh
my gosh, that line reading is amazing.
Rude. All right, so we have actual questions from fans that we kind of want from all different ways, and we have one of our super fans here.
One of the super fans. I'm going to move the camera over here.
I made my quarantine. I'm so happy that you're all here.
We love this. These were emailed to us. So Julie, tell us what they
Yeah.
asked.
So what is it? Oh, Gary from Scotland. And what did he say? Did you take any props or sets from without asking?
Yeah, how's this right now from the show?
I'll tell a story.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marsha.
Oh my God. Actually, I have Dana Delaney's chair from her dressing room in my living room right now. A red chair.
I had the
what I was
blue
gonna tell you. What?
You never told me that.
I did? Okay, we'll talk about that afterwards. But
That was in Vanessa's trailer.
I always have this picture that was in my kitchen. The last day, everybody was taking off with everything. And finally, I was like, okay, I can't stand it. I'm going to go get that picture. And I pulled it down, and it was, $14 from Marshall's. And I was so relieved. But I had that picture in my kitchen, and I love it. So I'm so happy. But that was the last day. I remember everything was like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I went to, there was nothing I wanted, because honestly, like I said, I was Brie Vanderkamp in real life. So I didn't want any of my clothes because it was like leopard and cheetah. And I was like, I'm never going to wear this outside of the show. But I did steal all of Terry Hatcher's sweaters. I went into the wardrobe trailer, and she didn't take anything. So I was like, can I have Terry's cashmere sweaters? I mean, not Terry, Susan Meyer's cashmere sweaters.
You guys may not know this, but do you remember in the production office over the couch, there was that 10-foot sized pinup production publicity shot of all of you in like different pinup things?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
But I walked in the office right before we wrapped, and I said, well, who's going to take that? And I asked George Perkins, our executive producer and our line producer, and he said, nobody wants it. And I said, can I have it? Oh. You guys don't know this, but it's in my house in Oregon in our game room. And my husband and I and my son and my family play ping pong. And whenever the ping pong ball hits that poster and it hits one of you, my husband will go, Delaney or Flicka or Marsha. It's hysterical because it hits you in different places. And so you're in my life all the time.
What about you, Vanessa? You had so many great clothes. Didn't you snatch them?
Is she a great clothes?
Never know. She's frozen.
She's frozen.
Who, me?
Vanessa,
Yeah.
those were Vanessa's clothes.
That's true. She was good with the clothes.
What else? All right, we have another question from Gary.
I took nothing.
What do you miss most about working together?
These faces. I miss these faces.
Yeah.
You know what I miss seeing the same people every day. I actually have anxiety when I do movies, and you have to meet people, and you have to meet the boom guy, and you got to meet the script, and you got to meet people, and then you got to bond within a month, and then the movie's over. And for 8 years, we got to see the same faces, the same camera guy, the same PAs, the same Doug Boom guy. I mean, and I love that. But I mean, of course, these ladies' faces faces as well. But like, I hated when I was off because I missed being on set. Marsha and I have such a strong connection. Felicity and I have such a strong connection. And then Brenda and Vanessa and Dana folded in like they were there from day one. I don't remember the day that they came because it felt like they were there forever. And so we've all created these amazing friendships outside of the show that are lasting forever. And so for me, it's I miss that. Like if we could go back and do that, this show right here, I would do it.
We want it back. All right, we have more questions after this.
Oh, wait, Dana, sorry, Dana, go, Dana.
No. I just want to say the work. One thing that I miss about it is Mark's writing was so. I compare it to Shakespeare because you could be as broad as you want or as small as you want, and it would sustain. You could be funny, you could be serious, and it's really rare to find that combination as an actor, and I miss that.
We think Mark is watching. Well, it's perfect. Eva just lost power for a second. We want to talk about some of the terrifying villains you had. Oh, perhaps you remember. Oh, Eva's there. All right, Eva, we're about to bring on a villain, but we can't have 6 on a screen. All right.
So how are we going to do this, Seth?
I guess
we
have
a surprise guest.
Me off for a minute. Oh, cool.
Brent, I'm going to take you off for 2 minutes because you didn't interact with this evil person. Perhaps you remember the meanness of this particular evil neighbor. Hi, Harry.
Hello. How is everybody? Hi.
Harry, what was it like for you? Because you were such a combination of you meant well, but you were so evil.
I was the sweetest one. I really was. I was the most loyal, the best natured. Really, I don't know what you're talking about.
I actually have some trivia for you to see what you remember about during the show, Felicia. Now, dear, remember when you fell down a flight of stairs because Zach attacked you? What did Zach attack you with?
A candlestick in the study. I was Colonel Mustard.
It's not true.
He attacked me with a computer or something, wasn't it? I don't have any idea.
Sports paraphernalia. Anybody remember?
No.
A hockey stick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would have hurt.
All right.
Yeah, we have a clip.
Hold on, we're going to show a clip of you. Then I have more trivia for you.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing so well with the trivia.
Now look how sweet and warm you are.
It never hurts to tip the guard who does your cavity search.
Listen to me, you son of a bitch. I don't care what I have to do. I will see you behind bars again or dead. Whichever is easier.
Oh, what about that wig? That's what I want to talk about. Why did I have to spend an entire season in a wig?
Harry,
they could have just cut my hair.
No.
Why was I wearing? I had like 4 people's hair on my head in that wig.
Harry, you're so welcome by the viewers. When you came on, someone said, "Oh, this bitch."
God.
I have more trivia for you. When you wanted to make Paul look like a murderer, what did you cut off?
Oh, all means of support.
No,
I cut off a digit.
More than one.
I think I cut off these.
Marcia, do you?
No, I cut off these because I think I caught my keys with these. So yes, I cut these 2 off.
And finally, in that horrifying scene when he was all tied up, what did you have in the drip going into Paul?
Oh my God. I don't have any idea.
Natalie!
I have no idea.
Does anybody remember what was going into him? It was what we all use when we want to kill somebody. Antifreeze.
Oh, wow. She always used what was on hand.
Whatever.
She was like the MacGyver of all the housewives. She really knew how to use what was there, what was available. It was a very peculiar experience to do it because I never got to interact with anybody. I was always like lurking in the shadows, stirring some batch of brownies, opening mayonnaise jars with malice. You know, I was always like looking through windows. So I never interacted with anybody. Sometimes Nicolette and I had something to do. And then when I was trying to kill Terry one time, you know, we had a few scenes together, but most of the time I was just sort of removed and off on my own. And so I can't imagine why people thought I was a bitch because, you know, I really was always by myself.
Well, this is what people always say about you, Harriet. She was big on the All right, so great to have you, Harriet. Thank you for making a scary appearance.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Nice to see everyone. Bye-bye.
We want that wig. Where is it, Fabulous?
There's Brenda.
Yes.
Just so you know, I just got a text from Linda Leifer, the script supervisor, saying hello to everyone because she was my script supervisor on the movie that I directed.
All right.
So Linda on board to help me out with that, and she was amazing. So she wanted you all to know she misses you and loves you.
Oh, Dana, we have a little clip of you. It kind of was really groundbreaking that you were a lesbian on the show because you were the only lesbian I think on the whole show ever, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think there's ever. Did you get any fan mail? Like, how did it? What was the effect of you playing that role?
Oh, it was very popular. Very. And a lot were very angry that I didn't come back in the final episode. That I all of a sudden wasn't gay. You know, like. That was a little problematic, but she was successful instead of being gay. I don't know.
Right. She made a choice. Well, you were sort of keeping it kind of a secret.
I was talking to Karen's doctor. You made quite the impression on him.
Me?
Yeah, he begged me to introduce you. Do you mind?
Why would I? We're only roommates.
We had some great men on the show. I was just with Jesse Metcalf the other day. We were hanging out the other day, and so Jesse and Ricard. I love the men of our. We had great men on our show.
Yes.
Yeah, we love them too. All right, we're gonna see what you remember.
He spent like the last 2 hours before we went on the air trying to stump you, ladies, with these trivia questions. I'm just warning you now. Go ahead, Seth.
All right, Vanessa Williams, frozen or listening? I can't tell. I'm going to say she's listening intently. Vanessa, well, is she?
Wait, what is happening?
Vanessa.
I think there's a long way.
Okay, so I'm going to move on from this. So, okay, how about Dana? Catherine, do you remember your address in Wisteria Lane?
My address?
Yes, ma'am.
I only remember my mailbox. I had the best mailbox, but I don't remember the address. No.
It was 4356. Get it together.
Thank you.
When you wanted to replace your dead daughter, do you remember where you adopted your new daughter from?
Oh, it was in an Eastern Bloc country like Slovakia or something. Czechoslovakia.
R. Starts with an R.
Oh, Romania.
Very good.
Yes.
Now, what about Bree? Uh-oh. Do you remember your maiden name?
Ooh.
I do not.
Oh, shit.
Does Bree Mason ring a bell? If we know Brenda Strong. Yes, Bree Mason. Okay. Then let me ask you this. Remember Rex's annoying mother that you banned from the funeral? Played by Shirley Knight. Do you remember what her first name was?
No, but God, do I love Shirley Knight. She's just
yes.
I miss her. I'd like to see her again. She was just fantastic. But I don't remember her first name.
Yeah, the answer I wanted was Phyllis, but I appreciate
that's right. No, that comes back. Yeah. The Mason thing, no. Phyllis, yes. Phyllis.
Too little, too late.
Okay,
we're sucking at the trivia game, by the way. We need to play like because we're not
this either. When you were faking being pregnant, What happened at that barbecue that kind of gave it away?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, I know. I got stabbed with a fork.
All right. Big mouth Evil Longoria, since you remember everything.
I don't remember anything with me, only with other characters.
Too late. There you are. You remember your address?
God, no. No, I don't remember. It had a 9 in it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
4329. Very good.
That's impressive.
No,
Okay.
because there was a publicity photo used forever, and the address was right behind my head, and the 9 was like, it looked like a Mickey Mouse ear. So that's all. That's why
Okay, so Carlos proposed to you very quickly. Do you remember how soon he proposed to you after how many dates?
3.
Yes! Know it all. How about I go back to the freeze frame?
That's you, Vanessa.
Vanessa?
The most important thing is she looks beautiful. That's
Yeah.
just what I said.
Yeah,
She just walked in.
Coming in again.
Let's see. Is this going to work?
She's a determined woman.
All right. How about Mary Alice?
Uh-oh.
What exactly did the blackmail note say?
I know what you did, and I'm going to tell.
Very good. But now, no applause, please. What? In the middle sentence. I know what you did.
it makes me sick.
Thank you. And by the way, that was the sister to
Harriet.
Yeah, to Harriet. So I killed her sister. Or actually,
No, you're a husband.
Paul killed her sister.
Spoiler alert. Wait, everyone's logging off. Okay, hold on. I have many more questions. So, do you remember, since Mary Alice wasn't your real name, do you remember your actual real name?
Oh, yes. Oh, God. What was it?
Marcia, do you remember? When she was the nurse? Let me see if any of the fans do. Hold on. Any fans remember her real name? It makes me sick. Okay, they remember that. Everybody remembers that. Okay, hold on. Anybody remember? I'm looking for the fans. What was Mary Alice's real name when she was the nurse? 1, 2, 3.
Angela. That's right. Angela Forrest.
Wow,
There you
I'm
go.
not reading it, but excellent work. You remember this. When that nice handyman wanted to fix something and you said you didn't need him to, but then you noticed something on him and you said, you know what, I might need your services. What did you notice that made you decide to ask him for help so you could
On
pay him?
him?
Yeah, you wanted to pay him because you saw something. You looked down.
His hammer?
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, exactly.
No, Lisa knows.
It's a very nice hammer.
He had, you see, a hole in his shoe.
A hole in his shoe. That's right, because he had a hole in his shoe, so I wanted to pay him so that he could support his family and buy better shoes.
Correct. It was very kind of you. I'm back to Brie Vanderkamp. Remember, you didn't want Orson to inherit or in the divorce your expensive things. So what did you do to prevent him from getting your nice stuff?
I don't know.
You did it with your lawyer.
I don't know.
Okay, fans. Hold on. Fans, what did she do in order so that Orson wouldn't get his stuff? There we go. 1, 2. They know this show, man.
I know the name?
Yeah. Hold on. It's
I know
coming.
the name.
There it is. It was this. Buy them in storage because you faked a burglary.
Oh, I'm so good. I was so good. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
This next clip is the intervention scene, which I just thought was so beautiful. And
Such good acting.
Talk to us, sweetie. Why are you behaving like this? I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like we can't see what's going on.
We know you're drinking again.
What about all these men? We know about that too.
Wow, can't hide anything from you girls, huh?
And did you also know I tried to kill myself? What? Oh my God. How did that little nugget of information slip past my nearest and dearest friends?
If this is a joke, it's not funny.
It's not a joke. I checked into a motel room with nothing but a bottle and a gun And you're wrong, Susan. It is funny that the women standing here before me, professing to be my supportive friends, are one of the reasons I was in that motel room.
Chris, stop.
No, don't give me this friends nonsense. All I ever was to you was the organizer, the problem solver, a leader when you needed one.
Wow. So important.
You have to go.
Beautiful breasts. And it's like, oh my goodness.
One of the does have beautiful breasts.
Yeah.
I love that scene, Marsha. I forgot about that one.
It's so beautiful. We want to show one more dramatic scene, the Eva scene, because I know everyone has to go into Eva, especially with the little baby. So what is this scene, James? It's so moving.
Well, this is earlier on, after you've been trying to have a baby. Are you in the adoption scene? I don't want to give it away, but it's one of the things that I think we love about the show and all the fans is that it has the comedy, but it's real too. It's outlandish at times, and some of these storylines, like Felicity's cancer storyline and Marsha's the drink alcoholism, and even with the storyline that you're about to see,
because this really does happen, and I think you play it so beautifully.
This is going to be my third time to see it. I've already cried twice seeing it. Your acting is amazing, and it isn't all line readings, Eva.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah, nice
Here we
try.
go.
Until the adoption is legally finalized, the birth mother can still change her mind, and she has.
No.
Gabby, wait.
You don't even want to be a mother. Look, Frank quit using, and he got a good job down at the plant. He's really stepped up. So we're gonna give the whole family thing a shot. Well, I'll totally give you all your money back. I don't want my money back. I want my baby. Come on, let's go. Carlos! No! Carlos, what's happening? No, ma'am, you don't understand. You don't understand. This is our baby! No, we've been feeding her, and we've been bathing her, and we wake up in the middle of the night and we rock her, which is crazy, because if you knew me, I don't do that. I don't do that. And my husband, he sings to her. He sings. So you can't take her away. It's too late. We've already fallen in love with her. Carlos, do something! No, you can't go. You can't take her. You can't take her. No. She's our baby.
Ooh.
No. That makes me cry every time.
Oh.
It's real.
Was that before you were a mom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, and I remember having trouble with that scene. I'm not a crier. I can't cry. Ever since I had a baby, I can cry anytime.
Oh man.
But before that, I was like, oh God, how do I do this scene? Where do I grab this from? And the words helped. That line, we've already fallen in love with her, just tore my heart in two every time I had to say it. Every take, I was like a mess just for that line.
We have to wrap it up. We have a question from a fan that Julie's going to read.
From UK.
Isla Bright.
Yeah, he asked, would any of you consider going back to the lane for a reboot or a spinoff? Ah! That's more than I thought.
1, 2, Linda. Martha, Vanessa, are you frozen? Or are you saying yes?
No, I'm here. I'm animated.
Mark, it's all up to Mark.
And would you want to go back?
Go back to Wisteria Lane?
Yes.
Was that the question? Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my audio is ridiculously awful.
We got the
today.
answer. I'm going to text you right now. So basically, everyone's saying yes, and Marsha will do it if everyone else says yes. That's sort of
Mark. It's all about Mark.
Oh my God, it's a movie. It needs to happen.
Mark is very adamant that he'd come to a real finish with it, and so that's why I say that. It's really about him. It's his baby, it's like
right.
right?
We'll see. And our wrap up. Here's a little wrap up moment.
Isn't Mark writing a Broadway show?
He's doing a lot of things, Mark Cheer.
Isn't he writing a Broadway show, Mark?
I don't know. Is he? He hasn't emailed me.
Okay, I know.
You want to wrap it up with this? This is like this last scene.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really fun to lighten it a little bit.
Just to lighten the load, just to show how you guys work so well together.
Hey, so what do we know about the new guy?
Definitely rich. Check out the car.
Definitely single. Check out the fish.
Rich and single. I wonder what he looks like. You rarely get the trifecta. What's your guess? Wonky eye, rabbit teeth, comb over, one normal eyebrow, one really big one. Baby hands. I had it all in one guy. Did not end well.
Well, I actually saw our new neighbor this morning. 6'1", 190. He was wearing this great-looking pair of jeans. And let me just say, I can tell you one thing that isn't wonky.
Gabby?
Oh, come on, I'm married, I'm not dead. I can still imagine all the dirty things I do to him.
Like what?
Oh, God!
It's so great. It could have been so many men. I was like, who is it? Brian Green? Is it Kyle? Is it? Well, I had a lot of men. But anyway. I didn't know who it was going to be. Did you guys?
Vanessa wound up getting married to him, right?
Yeah.
We can't thank you all enough for joining us today and for all of you.
This was so lovely. All right. Well, we think this is going to go on for a little bit more of a while, so maybe we'll have a second one. That's my hope.
Yes, this was so much fun.
Yeah.
You can tell we sort of love the show.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Oh, thanks, Julie.
Thank you so much, you guys, for doing this.
Thank you. Thank
And
you, Marsha.
Thank you. Bye, girl.
Bye, Eva.
Please welcome our Desperate House husbands. First, literal husbands. Let's welcome. Here's Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
I love your lighting, your color scheme.
Now we're so
Wow.
jealous.
And
Thank you.
Tuck, who has the cutest first name out of anybody here. I totally support it. Hi, Tuck.
My TV husband is wearing earrings. He's wearing dangling.
To hear you better, dear. To hear you better. Okay, and then
You always say I don't listen.
then let's welcome Ricardo. Hi, Ricardo.
Hi, Ricardo.
Carlos, and then from all the way down south, originally, Mr. James Denton. Hi, James.
I need Kevin's decorator.
I
And
know.
Ricardo's mustache.
It's all working. Is that real
We
or is
all
that
need
a whisper?
Ricardo's mustache.
Oh, that's real. That's real.
Still got it.
He's a
That
cop.
only took 2 days.
He's a cop during COVID.
2.5. 2.5. My pandemic stash. Yeah.
And finally, double finger, Doug Savant himself.
Yes.
Hi, Doug.
Oh,
So we had Doug here already. Doug was at the Melrose Place reunion. Just saying. And now this is his second hit TV show. He's got it going on. All right, boys, we all need to know. By the way, Kevin is the instigator of this reunion. So, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much.
Ricardo called me and said, "Hey, let's do something."
not true.
Ricardo.
Ricardo, we didn't know that. That's so sweet.
I just I had seen that the women had done one, and I was like, I really think the guys should do them because we all really got along. Like we had the guys. We had a great.
Were all of the women there?
Not all of them could make it. Let's just say that. It's a lot of laughing, James. Oh, wait, before we forget, don't forget on this platform, if anyone talks at the same time, all the sound stops. So, like, if you want to talk, just sort of like take a deep inhale. If not, nod.
Or raise your hand.
Yes.
That's right.
Or nod sagely. Okay.
But you know
Yes,
what, though, to your point, what I was trying to find clips and looking online, and I think I saw an interview with Doug, James, and Ricardo on The View. It was the last season. And I was telling Seth, it was like, you guys, you could see how much you liked each other. Yeah. You can't make that up. It was just like, and James, you were so sweet with both of them. And like, just like a nice guy. It was like, wow, it must have been fun.
I love those guys. I love them.
We had to pay Doug to like us though.
Oh wow, wow! What is that?
I don't even know.
Was that streetcar?
But that he has it framed is amazing.
Is it a still, or is it from the boys' dressing room? What is it?
That's when Ricardo, I believe, was playing basketball in the driveway of Delfino's house.
Oh my
when he was living there, right?
Yeah.
So Jamie got a screen grab from the show. That's a screen cap from the show.
That's awesome.
Wow. Did you frame bridge that?
Are you kidding me? Look, it's just a piece of paper stuck to a frame.
You're insulting me. I thought you had that framed. I was going to sign
It's covering up Bobby Kennedy.
I'm gonna sign it. All right, let's go back to the beginning.
That was good.
I'd love to know how all you clowns got your role. So, Kevin, how'd you get the gig?
I auditioned. Tuck and I, when we auditioned, it was the characters were the new couple on the street. And I don't know what Tuck was told, but I was told it was maybe 3 episodes. And and I remember the day I auditioned, I was actually doing an episode of Scrubs, and I was in a bald cap. And like I had till, let's say, 5 o'clock to get to Universal, and they cut me at 4:30, and then they had to take the bald cap off. And I raced over there, and my now wife was with me, and they wouldn't let her on the lot. They were like, she can't come in. I'm like, she doesn't care about any of this. I'm not making her sit on the curb while I go audition for this job I don't really want. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, she can't come in. And I'm like, well, then I'm not auditioning. Let's go. Screw it. And my now wife was like, no, I'll stand here on the curb. And you go in and audition. And so I walked in hot. Like I was pissed when I walked into that audition. And I actually read for Tuck's role. And I read and just bitchy. And Mark Cherry goes, did you look at the other one? I go, yeah, he's funnier. And they go, why don't you look at that? I go, just give me 5 minutes. I'll be fine. And I went out. I looked at it for 5 minutes. I went in and just was bitchy. And I think that's how I got the job, is because I was so pissed at the gate guard.
Wow. Your hostility paid off.
That's right.
Tuck, what about you?
5 years later, we were still there. They couldn't get rid of us.
Wow.
You were famous.
Kevin read for the funnier one. I read for the taller one. I was only right for the taller one. I was told that I was so loved. I was immediately going to be a series regular, but Kevin was just going to have 3 episodes. But when I read with 2 different actors for the role of Lee, and I read with one guy, and I was terrible, and I read with Kevin, and I was good. So I think Kevin brought something out of me, and that kind of worked. So I think maybe that's why they put us together.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Tuck, was there like a body clause in your contract that you had to like do a certain amount of push-ups every day?
No, and to be perfectly honest, I remember saying to Mark at one point, because I kept having to wear bathrobes, which I find to be so emasculating. I said, Mark, if you're going to have me take my shirt off, can we do it like this season before things start to fall apart? And they never did. I kept preparing myself for it. Like, Benny's doing it. Ricardo's doing it. I'm ready. And they're like, no, just wear the bathrobe, Tuck. Put on the bathrobe.
What a way.
No, it was the Halloween episode. You were torso. You had the vest on.
Yeah, I got to wear eyeliner. It was wonderful.
Yeah, where I looked like a weird Salvador Dali pirate.
Right. Yeah, I was a genie, and you were. People were conjecturing whether you were a pirate or Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali was more interesting and more specific.
I went with Salvador Dali.
Yeah. We still haven't kissed. When did we kiss?
I think when we got married, which was anticlimactic.
You had that big breakup. I found the scene where you sort of reconciled by being mean to each other. I think this is it.
Once I stopped laughing, I actually felt bad for you. We only broke up 4 months ago. How did you gain this much weight?
And you've been miserable without Bob. That's why you're getting so fat.
Oh, wow. Is that my voice?
Very sweet. All right, Mr. Ricardo, how did you get the gig?
Wow. I had just gotten back to LA from doing a stint at the Seattle Rep. And so it was like pilot season was full on. And a buddy of mine came by to visit me, and he was wearing a suit. And it's like he just went in for like crackhead role. So I was like, what role did you not get wearing a suit? And he was like, it's a thing. And he shows me the side. He's like, actually, you're perfect for it. And I read it, and I was like, this guy's kind of an asshole. And
exactly.
Yeah, you're perfect for it. And so I was like, all right. So I called my reps, and the casting office at the time, it was Scott Jenkinger, who was working with Junie Lowry Johnson. Scott had given me my SAG card, had tapped Hartley me into the industry, and was like, oh my God, I love Ricardo. I think he's wonderful. I just don't think that he's suave enough for this role. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I said, give me the audition. And they did, and it was on a Saturday morning at 10:30, which in those days was like the kiss of death. It's like the auditions were Monday through Friday. Anything on a Saturday, you're lucky if they even showed up. And fortunately, it was Mark Cherry. And Mark Cherry was there in the room because he probably had nothing else to do on a Saturday, as Mark would probably be. And so I went in, and Junie Lowry Johnson was there, as was Scott Jenkins, and that was pretty much it. I think I was the last person that they saw, too, for the role.
You didn't have to do like a chemistry read with Eva?
No. No.
Wow.
He was that suave.
I was.
Yeah, that's right. And what about you, Mr. Denton?
I was lucky. I was on a show the year before called Threat Matrix. It was 2002, so it was the first television show about terrorism. And we caught a lot of grief about we were capitalizing on people's fears of terrorism, and there shouldn't be a TV show about it. And of course, after that, there were about 15. But the showrunner, one of our showrunners there, Michael Edelstein, who I owe a lot to, took over and went over to Desperate Housewives and brought a lot of our crew with him. And Michael, I think, went to Mark and said, told him I show up sober and I know my lines. And I was really fortunate. I went in and read for Mark Cherry. All Mark Cherry said was, "Can you be more Italian?" Because it was Michael. And I was like, "No, not really. This is all I got." So Michael Edelstein, actually, who worked on our show for a year and then went on to bigger and better things. But I got it because of an ABC show I was on the year before, I think.
So you just had to read for Mark. That was it.
I came in, Michael was there, and I came in and read for Mark and did not read with Terry. And I thought that was interesting that we didn't read with the women. But I didn't meet Terry until the first table read of the pilot.
And there was no what's it called? We have to go to network and do all that kind of crap? No.
Well, yes. After I met with Mark, had to approve, and then we went and did network tests. But it was the most painless I ever had because they knew me. I'd worked for ABC for a long time. I did 2 pilots that didn't go. I did a show called Philly, a Botchko show that was regular also. ABC was familiar with me, so I think I might have been the only guy who tested. I'm not sure, but I was very lucky.
Wow. And Savant, what about you? You got out of the pool at Melrose Place, and
I wasn't so lucky. No, I went in 5 years as the gay character on Melrose Place. Mark Cherry has no idea who the hell I am. He knows that I'm married to Laura Leighton, who he remembered from The Young Americans. And so the first thing when I met him was he said, "I wrote the first thing your wife ever did." And I said, "Okay, great." And honestly, he told me later I got the job because he'd never seen, but he's like, he's from Melrose Place. Maybe people will know him. And our director, who was British on the pilot, who guys help me out. What was his name? Jamie Ricardo.
Charles McDougall.
Yeah,
Charles McDougall.
That's right.
Said, "Yeah, I want to get Savant because I'm making it. I want it to look all American, and he's all American." And by the way, they thought they were getting rid of me anyway. I was the only husband that wasn't a series regular on series 1 on year 1. I was a guest.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah. I had to earn my way on. I spent the entire
You did.
The entire first season as a guest because ABC was so generous when they came back and said, "We're going and we'd like to use you, Savant. We'd give you like 6 episodes. You just make top a show." And I was like, "Well, could I just make maybe a little more? I'll do it." And it just got to a point where Mark Cherry finally stepped in and said, Doug, I hear you're not doing our show, because I had turned it down. And I said, no, they've made it awful. And he said, well, I'll put an end to that. And so he actually negotiated with me. And I said, listen, I don't care. I'll do your show for you. I understand it's not a hit. Nobody knows if we're making money. I'll do it as a guest, but here's my condition. If I do the show for the first year as a guest, whether you kill me or not, if the show goes to year 2, you have to make me a series regular. And he said, oh, I can do that. And I said, well, let's do that. He said, let me just go talk to, and then he came back and he said, Doug, they told me we never do that. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? You're crying poor, and I would like to make a living, and you want me to commit to the show. And he said, I tell you what, I give you my word as a Christian man that if the show goes to year 2.
When did he become Southern?
Out of their chair.
Oh, you're in Oklahoma.
The nation is all over the map.
What's that?
What accent are you doing?
Mine. I don't know. Now I'm doing Paul Lynde. I don't know. Charles Nelson Riley. But at any rate, and Mark, true to his word, God bless him. At the end of season 2, I became a series regular. But at the beginning of season 2, I became a series regular.
Yep. But just so you know, your Mark Cherry is basically Dorothy Michaels and Tootsie. It's a very southern accent. It's a gentle lady. Okay.
Yeah.
He's from Oklahoma.
Just want to clarify that. Okay, so wait, I have a clip of, speaking of Doug, I have a little Carlos and a little Doug that James found. I think this is it.
Your beautiful niece working for your ex-lover.
What?
You still have the hots for him. But don't deny it. I saw you. Really? You're divorced? I'm calling sick. Kids get snow days. We could call it a boob day. Okay, it is way too early for the don't touch me look.
James and I would like to know what the week was like. Would you guys do table reads at the beginning of the week? Was it like a play?
We tried.
Oh.
It was hard to get everybody there. They tried to do table reads, and we would do them sometimes in early morning and sometimes at lunch, but the scripts were pretty late coming. And then you guys remember there was a period there where we only got the pages we were in because they were so protective of the story.
No.
Signing non-disclosure agreements. We didn't even get to see the scripts.
Whoa. There were times when we sat down at the table read and you flip. There were scenes that were already shot by the time we got to the table read.
True.
And then we're sitting there and you're flipping the page and all it says, it's a blank page with TBW for 3 or 4 pages. And the scene shot right after we finished the table read.
That was crazy.
So it was a version of a table read, but it was basically after the episode aired.
Sometimes.
We're still doing table reads.
I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to try to bring Mark on, and we'll go off for a minute. So, Mark, I'm going to bring you on. Well, because we only have 6. So, Mark, you tell your story about how you got the gig. And if anyone gets out of control, we're coming back. Okay, so we're going to go.
Come on, Mark.
Oh.
Mark.
You're smoking a grenade. All of you.
How'd you get the gig, Mark?
Yeah, how'd you get the gig?
I get the gig? It was the old Hollywood way. I met Mark Cherry years before when he was writing for the Golden Girls. And I did his spec script on the Golden Girls, which I think was one of his first jobs. And then I think he became a runner of the Golden Girls show. And then he did another show called The Crew. And he thought I was a lucky charm. So he brought me on for that. And I did the pilot for that. And then I ended up doing some shows with Beth Broderick on 5 Mrs. Buchanan's. So we'd worked together 3 times, and he forgot about me at casting with all the husbands. And then at the end, Paul Young was brought in, and he remembered me. So that's how I got it.
Who looks like a murderer?
You know, right. Before that, I played charming guys, and then it was, one role.
Hold on, I'm going to ask a question. So wait, so Mark, even though you were like a terrifying murderer, you were a regular from the very beginning on the show, but Sweet Doug was basically like an extra.
Yeah, that's right. He was an extra, but a very well trained extra,
and still am.
Solid under 5.
Okay, so that leads to the obvious question: did you guys do any pranks on one another during the show?
Yes. Any pranks?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Hey,
We made each other laugh a lot, but I don't know if you call it pranks. There wasn't like planned out.
Kevin, do you remember that scene when you came out of the house and you had the towel, your hair wrapped in a towel like a turban, and you were
a fire
extinguisher, and I kissed you on the mouth for no reason?
Yes.
I didn't make the show, but it was fun.
Interesting. There was a lot of male kissing off camera.
Jamie kissed everyone.
I thought I was special.
I went to prison, but I can't talk about it.
And then Mark and I were in prison together, and then things happened there.
Prisoners of love, blue skies above.
We have.
How long were we in prison, Mark?
What was that?
How long were we in prison? Like 3 episodes?
At least it seemed like eternity.
I remember throwing each other up against a fence and trying to be all macho.
Yeah. I had set you up something, or I don't know. I was a hero, but I was just a liar again.
Well, you killed somebody with a blender. What do you expect?
Oh wait, James, you also killed somebody. So shut up.
Well, I killed for good reason. He was a cop killer, but it was a dirty cop. You know, you always
That's fair.
Everything Delfino did to keep Susan's character clean, they made it justifiable, which I kind of benefited from.
Yeah.
Mark, you had to deal with Harriet Harris, and worse, Harriet Harris said you had to deal with her in this horrible wig. So let's just take a gander. She was like, why did they choose that wig for me? It basically looks like someone just found, like, in a haircut store, like, all the hair on the floor and just glued it to her hair.
Listen to me, you son of a bitch. I don't care what I have to do. I will see you behind bars again or dead. Whichever is easier.
Here's another pointer. They always record the conversation, so be careful about threatening the man you framed.
You murdered my sister.
That's a crazy, groundless accusation.
But true.
But true. Yes. And I lit up a rug too.
Harriet was fantastic. I mean, I got to that little storyline with her toward the end where she and Delfino were conspiring about something. But that was the best. One of the best things about that show was all the guest stars we had. I mean, people like, you know, Bob Newhart and Carol Burnett and Valerie Harper and Ryan O'Neal. And I mean, and God bless Orson Bean, right?
Orson Bean. Cheers.
Yeah.
Did they come on the show because they were fans?
I really think that.
Yeah,
you're so
they came on the show because Mark Cherry was a fan of theirs. I mean, Mark has a love and abiding love for these actors and actresses, and so he brought them on, and it was really all Mark's doing.
Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. Yeah.
A lot of actors from the theater. Some directors from the theater.
Scott Ellis.
First jobs, got their first jobs on Desperate Housewives.
Did you guys know that every episode was named after a Stephen Sondheim song?
Year one, at least, yeah.
Year one.
Only year one?
It went further than that, didn't it?
Went on.
Every single episode was. I think you guys just got bored and stopped looking. But I think it was literally every single episode was named after a Sondheim song.
Yeah, wait a minute. Did you guys ever watch the show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was Tuck and I talked about this. I was a fan of the show before because we came in season 4, I think. It was after they put the kid in the cage, and that's when it got a little weird. They put the African American kid in the cage, and that's when I was like, "Ooh, that's now we've gone."
I was not a fan of the show. I had a boyfriend who loved the show. And I would always make fun of him for watching that stupid soap opera. And I had an audition for it. And I really like the show.
Thank you.
What an ass kisser. Hey, Kevin, here's some of your bitchery.
And I take back everything I said about you being an insensitive bitch.
You never said that.
Don't open your email.
I had so much fun. It was so much fun playing Lee. Oh my gosh, just the bitchiest things possible. to say, and got away with it. Repeatedly.
Vanessa Williams.
Barney Fife and Bob was Andy Griffith, and Lee would say funny things, and then I would stand behind him like Andy Griffith and go, "Now, Barn." That's enough of that.
If Andy and Barney were lovers.
Yeah.
Send
Weren't they?
some donations, but in the meantime,
Weren't they?
Weren't they? Come on. Come on.
what did
There's
you
a
guys,
reason. There's a reason he didn't have to carry a gun.
Ooh.
when the series jumped? How many years was that? Like it jumped what 4 or 5 years? 5 years?
5 years. It's when they fired all of my children.
Yeah.
That's true. You were the ones that, like, well, yeah. And then Carlos, and Gabriella had kids all of a sudden, and they didn't have.
Yeah, there was a 5-year jump that happened, and basically all the kids became teenagers or were grown up in college.
Right.
How long
Did
were
you
you
know that ahead of time, like when the previous season had ended, how the next season would begin, or you just showed up on day one of the next season and were like, "Oh, wow, this is interesting."
I mean, sometimes you get a little bit of information about what was going to happen. Other times you would show up and there would be, this is what's going to be happening for the arc of the season for you, or the arc of the next 6 episodes. It would just depend. And I think. Go ahead, James.
They gave us a heads up. I remember because Mike and Susan had just finally gotten married, and they had no idea what to do with us. And one of the factors in the 5-year jump, one of the minor ones, was they could have us. We got divorced in the interim, and so they could get us married again. So that I remember Mark calling us in, Terry and me in, and talking about how when we get back, you will be split up. So we knew a little bit about what was going to happen, but I think it just gave them a chance to reset everybody and bring in some new characters. At first, I thought it was ridiculous, and then I realized it was pretty smart.
I took the Ultimate Desperate Housewives quiz, and I did pretty good. I want to know if you guys know other people's stories. So, Ricardo, when Lynette followed Tom to Atlantic City, what did she find out?
Wait, what?
Remember Lynette followed Tom to Atlantic City?
He doesn't.
Something's going on technically right now. I can't.
I'll text it to you. Since I have your number.
That's a good idea. That'd be great.
Ricardo doesn't know what happened to his character.
Okay, you know what? I will ask Ricardo. And how about this? How did poor Gabby lose her baby? She got drunk and lost it. She was attacked by an intruder. Carlos forced her to get an abortion, and she fell down the stairs running away from an intruder.
She got drunk.
Okay, she fell down the stairs. You're a fool. Okay, how do you not remember your own storyline?
No, I did it. Come on, I was playing.
Even I knew that.
Thank you. Okay,
fell down the stairs.
Now, Tuck, what about you? Do you remember what happened when Lynette followed Tom to Atlantic City? I'm sure your boyfriend would know. Text him quickly.
Was this on Desperate Housewives?
Okay, I'm getting rid of you. I'm bringing up maybe Mark Moses has some respect.
Sorry, Tuck, you lost it.
Okay,
Mark Moses stopped watching the show after he left.
I got up and left and came back, but it's still the same. Still the same cast of characters. What's the question? I won't know, but go ahead.
Followed Doug Savant to Atlantic City. Do you remember what she discovered?
Yes, when she got to Atlantic City,
yes.
she discovered that Doug's character was a crossdresser.
Okay, this is not yes and. This is actually
all right.
Wait. Doug, remember the episode where Doug wore leopard briefs?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I've got him on now.
I do. Hey,
wait a minute.
Hey.
Doug wore what?
Wait.
He wore leopard briefs. Leopard, like,
Do you remember Doug's character's nickname?
No. What was it?
The Big Sleazy.
No.
What was it?
It was Tripod Tommy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
In briefs, yeah.
So, Carl, why do you remember that, but not how your pro golf lost your baby?
I've been blessed with selective memory. I don't know what to tell you.
Something stick.
It traumatized him. Yeah.
Well, Carlos texted me and he asked me to show this clip. So here we go.
Texted me.
Ricardo.
Oh my God!
You want fantasy? I give you fantasy. Come to me, woman. Prepare to be boarded. Please, will you make it fast? These things are just chafing.
I kind of like it.
Good. Kill the lights.
I'm so sorry. You know, I tried. Mark Cherry said, we're going to put you in a thong next. And I said, nobody wants to see that. No.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
You pulled it off.
But, you know, like, and now I'm like 100 years older and I'm like, oh, yeah, not bad. All right.
I still have that right. I know. Okay, I'm going to bring back Tuck and see if he's a self-respecting gay man. James, take a break for a moment. Tuck, dear. Hold on. I hope you know this answer. How many gay people did Carlos beat up?
0. It's a trick question. The answer is 0.
Okay, Tuck, take care. Okay. I cannot believe
Why are you asking Tuck any questions about the show? He doesn't know the show.
Ricardo, how many did you beat up? Do you remember?
You know, I can remember. I think there was definitely 1 or 2 in the first couple of seasons. There were more than that. But the crazier thing was, I remember there was fan mail that was sent in that like was so hateful and like so full of like we can't believe that, you know, this is who you are. And then I'm like, this is not me. Like, this is the character. That was always a problem with that show too. But yeah, I got a lot of like fan feedback, negative fan feedback about that. And I was like, I grew up in theater, guys. Like, what?
I knew you were acting. I didn't hate you.
You got hate mail while Eva was making her daughter run behind the car because she was fat.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember reading that and going, oh, wow. That's
I think, Kevin, you and I were in table read and looked at each other when we saw that Eva makes the kid run behind the car. We were just like, this is never going to work.
I did a USA interview speaking out against it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble for it with the network?
Not with the network, no.
Oh, enough said.
That's what I loved about the show was all of that kind of stuff. Or when Marcia says in like the second or third or 7th episode, Rex cries when he ejaculates. I mean,
but that's an adult male you're making fun of. That's funny.
Yes, it's not an
hey, she signed up. She's an actor. She signed up on the job.
There was a lot of stuff that was being made fun of back then that there's no way that it could be touched now. You know, I mean, look at like just like you brought up, you know, how Carlos beat up X number of homosexual men within the constructs of that show. It's like you couldn't do that now.
Well,
you know, I mean, if it was. If it was propelling the story forward, you could. Do you know what I mean? But if it was just gratuitous, then that's not gonna be helpful to anyone.
I mean,
you know,
it definitely the point of view was that he was wrong to do it. You weren't supposed to be rooting for Carlos. You were thinking.
Sure. But to bring humor to it, to bring humor to a situation like that nowadays would be very, very faux pas. You know.
Yes. Right. I 100% agree with that. By the way, didn't you play Stanley Kowalski at one point?
I did Stanley Kowalski at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis. Yeah, I think we were like season 6, season 7 of Housewives. I still work actively in theater. I was in the past 5 years. I've been at the National Theater at the Geffen in Los Angeles, the Guthrie again, and what's the off Broadway one?
The Motherlode.
It's right there at 44, the big one, the 40 Signature Theater. I was at the Signature.
Oh, Signature.
I have a question. Did any Polish actors get upset that you played Stanley Kowalski?
Well, you know, when you can't find a Polak, you got to grab a Mexican.
It's in the rule book.
Denton, did you play Kowalski too?
I also played Stanley Kowalski, but it was a little different. It wasn't quite the Guthrie. It was a small theater in Chicago when I was a kid. Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're gonna have a Stanley off
We're going to see who remembers their lines better. Carla, I'll be Blanche. Whoever knows the next line, speak.
I did it in 1991.
Denton, I didn't ask for excuses. I asked.
You might be better at this, James.
So now I'm doing a Southern accent, and I know that Doug is best at Southern accents. But
That's Mark Cherry.
Yes. Just do it like Mark Cherry.
I like all the Williams women, so yeah.
Blanche says, "Why? Those were a tribute from an admirer of mine."
Who was it? Chet Huntley? I don't know.
He must have had a lot of.
He must have had a lot of admiration.
Yes, thank you, James.
Ooh.
Then she
Wow.
said, "Look at me now. Would you think it possible that I once was considered to be attractive?" You say,
No. Must have been a long time ago.
"Hey, Mark, we're talking about me. First of all, we're talking about Mom. You say your looks are okay. Didn't you guys memorize the script?
It was 29 years ago.
A lot of. Okay, let's go around quickly in a circle. Doug Savant, what was your favorite episode? What was your favorite thing to film or favorite moment?
God, I loved. I never had a bad day in my 8 years on that show. I was thrilled.
Nothing specific. Working with the kids. What about the big makeup scene on the street where you think you're going to get divorced and then you don't?
Yeah, that was special. Yeah, because it was the end of the show. So yeah,
right,
very much so. Yeah, thanks for bringing that one up. I'll pick that one.
Okay, fine. Kev, actually, you know what? Wait, I think we have that clip.
I think we did, actually.
Okay, hold on.
As a fan, it was one of my favorite scenes from the show.
It's very sweet. I really did think you were going to break up. I was like, oh, by the way, spoiler alert. Anyway, here we go.
Look, at the end, before I left, our problems looked this big. So I went away. But now, I realized they only seemed that way because we were so close up against them. And they were blocking me from seeing how much I love you.
Yeah. I've said this many times, and I want to say it here. One of the biggest travesties of this show was that Doug Savant didn't win an Emmy. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean it with. I could not.
You're so kind, and I've never worked on the show. So
Came in as a guest star, which I felt like was crazy, and then you had to sort of earn your way. And Doug Scavo was. I'm a fan. I'm just saying, you should have won an Emmy.
He's the best. He's very generous.
Love that. Kevin, what about you? Which bitchy line was your favorite to say?
My favorite scene was a really small thing for Tuck and I, but it was when Terry Hatcher had a guy sneaking out of her house naked, and Tuck and I are sitting on the porch, and like we're kind of facing her house, and we're like reading the paper, drinking our tea, and we both, it's just like there's no lines. We watch him crawl out of the window naked, and then I just slowly pull my phone up and take a picture and put it back. And like there was no dialogue, and it was one of my favorite moments in the whole thing. But my least favorite was the mob. The mobs, when the mob comes down the street, and just because it was such a nightmare to shoot. It was like this is toward the end, and they had run out of stories, and like there was like 300 people on the street breaking windows and stuff. And that was just a nightmare to shoot. That's the only reason I didn't like that. But we just had, at least we did. We had so much fun on that set. I've never laughed so hard, so repeatedly.
So nice.
It was fun.
Tuck, what about you? You love the mob.
Full disclosure, I was never on Desperate Housewives. No. I thought this was the 30-something reunion. My favorite episode was when the plane crashed into Santa's house at the end of the street, because they had all of us out there and we didn't know who was going to die in the mid-season cliffhanger, but whoever was in the house was going to die. And Kevin and I were over to the side eating bonbons, and I thought, we're safe. And then over a megaphone, the director says, Tuck, can you move behind Santa's house, please? And I thought, no. They kept moving us around to see, and I thought, well, this has been fun, guys. But
wait a minute, you really didn't know when you were filming who was going to be alive or not?
No, we didn't know who was in the house. We didn't know who was going to perish. And, there could be ancillary characters around. You didn't want to be stuck behind the house because you knew the plane was going to run into the house. So there was, they started doing these mid-season cliffhangers like the tornado, Bob, the Santa's house being destroyed, and you never really knew what your fate was going to be.
Wow, so you didn't know if you were going to have a steady job. You didn't know if you were going to come back.
Well, Chuck and I were still guests at that time. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was early.
We were guests for a long time.
And
It took us a lot longer to earn our stripes than it did Doug Savant.
But similar to what happened to Doug, I remember in the second or third season we were there, Mark said to my reps, play ball with us, and I promise next season we'll make him series regulars. And he lived up to that. And that really,
he did. He did. He was definitely a man of his word when it came to that stuff. If he said, I'm going to take care of you, he did.
Yeah.
Mark Cherry said that.
He did.
Yeah.
And he lost his Southern accent at that point. And it just sounded totally different.
This is why straight men should never play gay men on television.
Oh shit!
Sorry,
What?
Kevin.
Yeah, there he is.
And Doug. Kevin and Doug there.
Oh, busted. Okay, so hold on. Busted. Okay, Ricardo, what was your? By the way, I love the sassy spiral staircase. Is that just there for show, or does it actually lead somewhere?
It's a rental.
Good to know. Okay, what was your favorite moment? I know you don't remember much of the show, but in your memory, what did you enjoy?
Let's see.
The kids running behind the car.
No.
That's horrible.
My favorite guest star, although I didn't get to work with her, was Carol Burnett. I got to see her work, and that was something that was truly incredible. Because at her age, to still be moving around as spry as she was, and to show up on set ready to go, not just knowing her lines, but knowing everyone else's lines, was a testament to what the industry used to be. And it was very much more theatrical than anything else. Let's see. What I enjoyed doing more than anything else, and I don't think I've ever voiced this to these guys, was getting to set early before my stuff would shoot and getting to watch other people's stuff get shot and watching them and watching their process and watching all the jokes and the banter and the mistakes and the miscues and everything. Because for me, Housewives was very much an education those first few years. I had only gotten out of my graduate program for theater in 2000. This was in 2004. So those first few seasons were really a big learning curve for me, so that was a real joy. And then just to be on set every day working with probably the most fabulous crew I've ever had the chance or opportunity to work with. I mean, I still keep in touch with a lot of the crew people today. I consider them very close friends, and it was very much, it was a family in that sense. So that's the thing that was most important and made the most impression upon me in my time during that. My stuff. There was a fried chicken scene where Eva was eating fried chicken, and I thought that was kind of funny. So.
Did you guys have the same crew basically for the whole 8 years?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
DPs came through. We rotated. Some DPs got fired, and and came and went. But yeah, basically.
With the writers, did you ever have any say in your character or development, or did they listen to ideas or anything, or did you just do the script as it was written?
In my experience, they were more open to changes than any other group of writers I've worked with. And in fact, John Pardee of John and Joey texted me and is watching now. So we say hi to our all those great writers who put really ridiculously funny things in our mouths, from Alexander Cunningham to Mark and I just
Matt Berry.
the bands, Kevin and who else? Help me out, guys.
Matt Berry.
Matt, I love it.
The list is so long.
Matt,
I had said to Mark Cherry once, I said, hey, are you open to some ideas for my character? And he said, I'll set up a meeting for you. So he arranged for me to have lunch with Marco Panette. And so Marco sat down and we ate lunch. And I told him a couple ideas. And he said, okay, I need you to tell me again because I actually like them. And that ended up being the flipper story where I try to flip Ricardo came from one of the ideas that we talked about at that lunch. So yeah, they were really open. They were open to it, and sometimes it worked out.
Well, Bob Daly.
Bob Daly, great. His wife Janet she's phenomenal.
Yep.
Okay, Mark, what was your favorite part of doing the show? Which person that you murdered?
Which person? Yeah. What I always got from everybody was, "You're the guy who murdered his wife," and I go, "No, I murdered her murderer with a blender." But I got always murder your wife. But I mean, there were so many great scenes, and Mark, did a great. I mean, I think from the beginning, digging up the pool in your pajamas. I thought that was just fantastic visual that said so many things. And I got to work with a lot of different actors in the show because I never had a spouse, obviously. People hated me. But I got to work with Richard Roundtree for a while, which, was fantastic. Shaft. I got to work with Shaft, and I got to work with almost everybody a little bit on the show. A little more with Terry, sometimes with Jamie. But it was a great ride, and I sort of went away, and I got to come back season 7. So I loved it. And Mark did a great job with it.
Denton, by the way, spoiler alert for anybody watching. Spoiler alert. But let me just say, James, did you know what was going to happen to your character? Because I certainly did not know what was going to happen, and I'm still recovering.
It's funny. Well, thank you. I got lucky. I think Mark called me in with about 5 episodes ago and said the network wants to do something big before the finale because everybody knew the finale would be big. Want to kill somebody. We can't kill any of the women, so we think we're going to kill you.
Wow.
How do you feel about it? Which I thought was very respectful because I hadn't been saying it. And it worked out great for me because I kind of got a little bit of a send off. I get to do the talk show circuit and talk about Delfino's exit, and I still came back as a ghost in the final episode. So it's funny because most of us guys joked about trying to stay alive for 8 years, and so I made it till I think there were 4 episodes to go. But I mentioned Matt Berry because he wrote that episode. And we actually got together and we talked about that. I thought it was a beautifully done sequence where when the bullet leaves the gun, between the gun and when it hits my chest, Delfino's life flashes before your eyes. And flashback from the pilot all the way to the end of season 8. And it was a really beautifully done thing. And Terry was so heartbreaking as I lay there, bleeding out in her lap. So I thought they did a great job with it. And I felt fortunate that I got a little bit of a send off. My favorite episodes were taking Mark Moses out to the quarry and threatening to kill him in season 1.
That was a good one.
And he kind of talked his way out of it. That was a really, really fun episode when you thought Delfino was going to kill Paul. And so I like working with the guys. Ricardo moved in with me for a while.
All right.
He lived in Delfino's house. We were peanut butter and jelly for a little while.
That's right. That's right.
So, it was that was the fun stuff for me because I rarely got to do scenes with those guys.
Here's one of your, what was it voted the most romantic scene ever?
Oh, right. Yeah. With Terry and James.
Yeah. For what it's worth.
When I was looking for clips, I found this was like the one that was like voted the most popular as far as romantic.
So
sorry, Doug.
All we can pray for is rescue.
Mike, I twisted my ankle.
Good. Because now I get to do this.
The funny thing about that, guys, it was a sweet little scene, but I thought, why do I sound so terrible? It was looped because that stream running behind us. Good, because now I get to do this. Was said, like in an audio studio a year later. I thought it was going to be that scene where Terry's lying in the bushes and I've seen her naked, like out of her house. And then at the end of the episode, it was called Who's That Woman? And the end of the episode, I walk her to the door and she says, "Thank you for not looking." And I say, well, I got to admit, I kind of took a peek, and for what it's worth, wow. And I walked away, and it was the first Mike Sousa moment where we realized they were going to date, and I love that episode.
Yeah, but you were hooking up with Nicolette Sheridan.
Oh, I had a whole season with Dana Delaney. I was really lucky.
You were a player.
Yeah, I had a whole season with Dana. Nicolette, when I woke up from my coma, Nicolette was straddling me in the hospital. But then later in a courtroom, she hated me in real life. So I don't know.
It was always hot. All right, look, guys. The end of the story is this: we've done now the 2 Desperate Housewives reunions. We now have to have one with the actual ladies. So we're gonna bring everybody back.
You mean with all of them?
No, with you both together. Yeah, because I feel like I want to talk to the couple. So the next time we see you, I want you all in couples. So let's work on that. Tuck, of course, Tuck and Kevin, you've already been in a couple, but maybe there was one episode with a 3-way. We'll bring that person in. That was
with Bob Newhart. There was a scene with Bob Newhart.
All right, Kevin's clapping. All right, I guess that's it. You guys have been so sweet. Thank you so much.
Hey, by the way, Denton, I still have your turf from the Super Bowl. It's from the Colts end zone.
Oh,
I just wanted to show you that. I'm holding it for you in case you want it back. It's when the Saints beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember it. It's a long story.
I completely slipped my mind.
Yeah, I still have it for you. I'm just
make sure you watch. Are we all going to watch Peyton Manning and Tom Brady play golf on Sunday?
Sunday, I have it recorded.
No sports talk. On your own time. Okay.
Your dime?
I leave for one.
On your own time.
I know, but this is their dime. Sorry, I didn't realize you were paying for it.
Okay, I'm going to play the credits. I'm going to close out with some Sondheim.
Thanks, everyone.
Everything is
Thank you for having us, Seth and James. Thank you. Donate to the Actors Fund.
Absolutely.